Am I audible to everyone? Anyone of you please respond in the chat box. Any one of you? So in the previous class, we have discussed a linked list implementation in collections. So now in our today's class, we will discuss about the implementation of stack, queues, and sets, right? As is it visible to everyone? Okay, okay. Now, so this is the collections framework. It contains set of interfaces and as well as classes. Uh, and there are various classes which implements uh, the interfaces, right? In that, a stack is a subset of a vector. That means it will implement all the functionalities of vectors. In addition to that, stack is going to implement certain additional methods which are not available at vectors. So as you all aware of that, stack is a linear data structure which follows the last in first out mechanism. So whatever the element which is recently entered into the stack will be removed first whenever if you perform the pop operation. So here the inserting operation will be called as push and the deletion operation is called as pop, right? So Java collection framework provides a stack class that models the and implements the stack data structure. So here it provides a set of methods which are meant for adding, searching, deletion, finding an element. So several methods are available in the stack class through which we can implement the stack functionality, right? So the class is based on the basic principle last in first out. In addition to the basic push operations, push and pop operations, the class provides three more functions. One is empty, search, and peek. Okay, we will see in the upcoming slides what exactly the functionality of these methods, and even we will see the implementation part of these methods which are available at the stack class, right? It extends vector class with 5 operations to support last in first out. These three, empty, search, and peek. In addition to these two more methods, that is push and pop. So total 5 methods the stack class is going to be support. Okay, in addition to the vector class, right? So the stack class contains, or all the methods which are available at the vector class is also available in stack. Along with that, these 5 methods are added to the stack class. All right. So a vector implements a list. Stack class is also a list implementation class, but does not support all operations of vector or list. Okay, it is also a list. Here a list in the sense it is a collection again, because it is going to represent a group of elements together as a single unit, right? So stack supports last in first out. You cannot directly remove the element which is inserted somewhere, as in the linked list, whatever the element which you want to delete, you are able to delete. Am I right or wrong? You are able to delete first element, you are able to delete last element, you are able to delete middle, any position in the linked list. But here it is not the case. Always we are supposed to pass from the top of the stack only. Okay, so that is the reason why we are called as it will not support all the operations of vector or list, right? So this is the hierarchy of stack class. Iterable is the root, and then collections, list, vector, and stack. So as you can observe in the hierarchy of the classes, you can think iterable, collection, in that list is one interface. So this list of interface will be implemented by this vector and stack. So stack class extends the vector functionality. In turn, it implements the list method. It is a collection and it is iterable. Right? Now, okay. This is a default constructor stack, which it is provided in the stack class, which is used to create an empty stack. As you know the functionality, then the importance of the constructor. Constructor is used to instantiate or create an object. So that means whenever if you create an object, automatically the constructor is going to be executed and the memory allocation will be done for that particular object, right? According to the definition of the stack. So now let us see what are the various methods which are available at the stack class. So first one is empty. Empty. If you want to test whether a stack is whether a stack contains any element or not. If a stack contains elements, it returns the false value. If the stack is empty, it returns the true value, right? So next, peek. So peek is just like popping the element. Pop operation is meant for removing an element from the stack, right? But whereas peek, whatever the element which is present in the top will be displayed without removing it. Will be displayed without removing it. That is the functionality of pop. Okay, okay. I will increase my voice. Okay, all right. Peek always displays the top element, the element which is present in the top. It will not remove the element from the stack, but it just displays the element which is present in the top of the stack. Top of the stack. Because here usually we are performing the stack operations with limited set of elements, like we'll store 5 elements or 7 elements or 10 elements only. But in the real-time scenario, if you're talking about the tweets in the Twitter, so you can imagine how much it is. So if you try to implement the stack data structure for handling the tweets of the Twitter accounts, so in that case, so always why we are learning all these linked list stack, all these already we have discussed in the you learned in the data structure subject but again why we are discussing here itself is, here our motto is all these data structures together are all these data structures are representing the functionality of collection, and all of them are differing the functionality while handling the data. So that is the reason why we are learning all these things. So you just keep it in your brain, like these all methods are meant for handling I mean, whenever if you are going to handle huge volume of data, in that case, finding or so moving in and around, so these all things somehow little bit difficult. So for that reason, directly we are using these methods. So that is the reason why these methods have developed. So the peek method is similar to the pop, but instead of removing the element from the stack, it just displays the topmost element. And pop, yes, you are aware of that. It removes the element from the top of the stack. Always it removes the element which is present in the top of the stack only. So for the deletion operation in the stack, we are supposed to use the method pop. For insertion, we are supposed to use push. Okay. So here important aspect is both insertions and deletions are made at a single end. In the stack, both insertion and deletions are made at a single end. Always you just, if you want to insert, you just store it in the top position. If you want to delete, you are supposed to delete the element from the top position only. Okay, you cannot perform insertion and deletion operation in the middle or beginning or like that, right? And next one is search. So if you want to search for an element, whether it is present in the stack or not, with the help of this particular method, you are able to return, you are able to implement that functionality, right? You can get the element, if the element is present in it, you will get the response. Otherwise, so here you can observe that returns the one based position where an object is stack. Okay, so these are various methods which are available in the stack class. Okay. Now, let us see the implementation part of the stack, how it will be implemented using collections. Right? Now, this is an example program. Is it visible to everyone? Is it visible or not? Okay, okay. Right. So here, this is the way of creating an object to the stack class. And here you can observe it is generic. Generic in the sense here I am passing integer value. So it indicates that the stack is supposed to hold integer values. Okay. So if you change it to the string, instead of writing integer, if you write string, in that case, you are able to store only strings into the stack itself. So that is the reason this kind of representation is called as a type safe. Type safe. Always it restricts you to enter only the object type which you have specified while declaring the object to the class. Is it okay? Right. So here I want to push only integer elements. I want to keep only integer elements. That's why I was defined it as an integer. If you want to keep string values, or if you want to keep some other type of data, or if you want to keep Boolean values, so whatever the data types that are supported by Java, you can use all of them. Right? So make sure that insert elements into the stack, you are supposed to insert only the elements which is specified while declaring the object. So now let me check whether the stack is empty or not. Okay. Right. And you can write in both the ways to verify whether the stack is empty or not. Produce the similar output. You can check here itself. Initially, when I try to print the stack, it displays only empty brackets. It indicates that no element is present in the stack itself. Whereas in the second representation, is empty. So is empty will return true value if the stack does not contain any element. It returns false value if a stack contains any element. So initially, just we have created, we did not store any even single value into the stack. So that is the reason initially it is empty. So that's why it was returned true value. Okay. And after that, I'll start inserting elements into the stack using the method push, which is defined in the stack class of the collections framework. Okay. Usually what we have to do, you're supposed to write your own code for inserting element into the stack. That means stack of top is equals to element. After that, you are supposed to increase the top position, top plus plus. Like that, we are supposed to write the code for inserting element into the stack. But instead of writing all these things, people have developed these methods, predefined methods. These are predefined methods, so directly you can use it by importing the package import java.util.stack. So this is the package where the stack is defined. The methods are defined in the this particular package, right? And here I was inserted 4 elements: 1001, 1002, 1003, and 1004. So after inserting these 4 elements, I would like to print the stack elements. So you can observe that here displayed in the where packets 101, 1001, 1002, 1003, and 1004, right? And after that, I'll perform the pop operation. So pop operation is meant for removing an element from the stack. Itself. So which element will be removed first? Whatever the element which is present in the top. That means whatever the element that was entered into the stack as last. So in our case, 1001 was first inserted, after that 1002, after that 1003, and the last element is 1004. This is the most recently inserted element into the stack. So when you apply the pop operation on the stack, whatever the element which was recently entered into the stack was removed first. So in our case, 1004 is going to be deleted from the list itself. Stack itself. So you can check. Pop operation 1004. Okay, and then I would like to print the contents of the stack. So after removing the 1004, how many elements you have? 3 elements: 1001, 1002, and 1003. So you need to verify, check whether it displays those 3 elements or not. So these are the 3 elements only it was printed, right? And then now, as I told you, search. So search function is used for finding the element whether it is present in the list or not, present in the stack or not. So now I want to search for 1002, whether it is present in the stack or not. Yes, anyway it is in the stack. That is the reason it displays the position of in the stack, right? Now suppose if I enter it as for example, 5 if I entered, because it was not in no way it was not present. Let us verify whether it is correct or not. So -1. -1 it indicates that no element is present in it, right? For example, 1003 if you give, so it is top position, right? 1001 you can check. So in such a way, it is going to be displayed. And last, I would like to verify once again whether the stack is empty or not. As you know, it is not empty up to now because it contains 3 elements: 1001, 1002, and 1003. Anyway, we're trying to verify whether it is empty or not. So in this case, what we are expecting? We are expecting false as a result because the stack contains some element. If the stack contains no element, then only it results the true value, right? So you can observe the last output, false, because it contains certain elements. So this is the way which you can implement the stack operation, right? And 1 minute. And here, because these are all simple examples, I will share this document with you. How to you can use these programs, some other example programs on the stacks, and if you have any queries, we will discuss it in the next class. I'll share this document with you. So this is all these examples are how to represent the stack, how to store the elements from stack to list, list to stack, like that conversations between various other data structures in the collection. I was given examples programs on it. Okay, so I'll share this document with you. You please go through it and you just check it out how it is going to be executed and all. Okay. Now let us start discussing queues. Any queries in it up to now? Stacks, regarding stacks, do you have any query? If you have any query, you can unmute yourself and you can ask. Otherwise, I'll start queues. Any one of you? You have any queries? Say yes or no. Shall I proceed or wait for your question? Any one of you please respond in the chat box. If you have any query, I'll answer. Otherwise, I'll continue with the queues. Please let me know. Yeah, D2. You can ask. You can unmute yourself and you can ask. Now I will change your setting and ask. You can unmute yourself and you can ask. D2. D2. Are you able to unmute yourself or not? Or you can post your question in a chat box if you feel any difficulty. Okay. Right. Now, let us start another data structure which is also linear. We just try to understand the difference that exists among the three different linear data structures. Stack is a linear data structure, linked list is a linear data structure, queue is also linear data structure. So you just try to understand why we learn these three, because all these are linear data structures. All these are linear data structures, but they are different. The way which they perform the operations on the collection in the sense group of elements is different. So depends upon your requirement, you can select any one of the data structures. Okay, all of them are meant for representing collection of elements only. Okay, now so queue follows the first in first out. Whatever the element that was entered into the queue will be removed first. Okay, so queue allows you to insert, and deletions are made at two different ends. The deletions are made from front and the insertions are made from another end, rear. Okay, whereas in the stack both insertions and deletions are made at a single point, single end. So that is stack. Okay, So the difference between stack and this particular one. Okay. The Java queue interface. This is an interface, whereas stack is a class. You can observe the diagram. Here you can observe it. Stack is a class. As I told you, green colored rectangle boxes are classes, whereas blue color rectangle boxes are interfaces. So queue is an interface. So you cannot directly create the object. You cannot instantiate the object of it. So that is the reason will I implement the queue interface either by using linked list representation or the priority queue representation. Okay, with the help of linked list or the priority queue, we'll try to implement the queue interface. Okay, all right. So here the linked list and priority queue are the classes that implements the queue interface. Array blocking queue is at another class that implements the queue interface. So array blocking queue or bounded queue, these all things are related to that. So whatever the size of that queue, if you fix it well in advance, that is called as blocking. That means you cannot store the elements more than the maximum size, right? If you fix the maximum size as 10, for example, so if you already store the 10 elements, you don't have right to store 11th element into the queue because you have fixed the size of that one. So blocking, you just block from the unauthorized entry into the queue. Okay, right. Unbounded in the sense there is no limit for it. You can store any number of elements. In the linked list, if you are talking about, okay, so there is no restriction of the size in it. You can store any number of elements. The list continuously grown up, depends upon your requirement. Okay, but if you fix the size, like in stacks, if you are go with the array implementation of stack, array implementation of queue, where we can fix the size of that array. Right? So that in that case, what happens? We'll store only the elements within the boundary or within the maximum limit of that array only. Okay, so the double-ended queue that also supports insertion and deletion from both ends. The DQ is thread safe. Blocking queues are also thread safe and are used to implement producer consumer problems. Okay, these are all things we will see while discussing with the big data applications, right? Until then you may not understand, even though I was explaining what exactly the purpose of these two. Okay, so until then you just remember that these are the different ways, because it is an interface, we cannot directly instantiate the object of it. So that is the reason with the help of some other classes we will try to implement it. Okay, so that is the point which you are supposed to remember. Now initially the queue is going to be, it is an interface that will be implemented with the help of either linked list class or the priority queue class. Okay, because it is an interface. Okay, implements the queue is an interface, so we cannot. Okay, that is a point which I was already told you. Now this is the way of declaring object to the queue using linked list class. Okay, q1 is equals to new linked list, right? So in this case, the q1 follows the operations of linked list. Okay, whereas in the q2, so here it was created with the help of priority queue class. So here it follows the mechanism of priority queue. We'll see very soon the implementations of both linked list implementation of queue and as well as priority implementation of queue. So as you all aware of that linked list implementation, you know how to create a linked list and what way you are supposed to perform the operations. Okay, these all things we have seen in the previous classes. Now let us talk about the priority queue. Priority queue in the sense, as you are aware of that, while inserting elements into the queue, along with the element, it also keeps the information regarding the priorities. Okay, the priority should be defined by the user itself. Okay, so you need to define any comparison mechanism. That means each and every element should be each and every element which is present in the queue should be distinguishable with the others. That means it should be comparable with the other elements which are present in the list. Say for example, if you are talking about in the operating system, you may come across with the scheduling algorithms. While understanding scheduling algorithms, you might have studied about shortest job first algorithm, SJF. So in that case, what way it was processed, whatever the element which is in the shortest time, it is going to be burned. So that job will be processed first. So similar, what it indicates, there the size or the time which it requires to process is the priority. Okay, whatever the job which is having smallest size, I mean time, so that will be considered as the high priority task. Okay, similarly here also the priority queue, always based on the priority only it is going to be perform the operation rather than first in first out. As you all aware of that, queue follows the mechanism of first in first out. If it is the case, always the element should be removed from the queue from the front end only, or the element which is entered into the queue in the first. Okay, that element is only removed from the queue if it follows the queue. But whereas in the priority queues, what happens is based on the priority only it is going to be processed, not by following the first in first out mechanism. Okay, so that is the important point here you are supposed to understand. You need to define the mechanism of how to define the priorities of the elements which you are going to store it into the queue, right? Now, so these are the various methods which are available in the queue interface. So it is the responsibility of the class. Suppose here we are using, if we implement the queue object with by using the linked list, so it is the responsibility of the particular class to provide the functionality of this, but all these methods, as you are aware of that, how to implement an interface in a class. Okay, add e comma e. So this method adds the specified element at the end of the queue. So always the insertion operation will be performed at the rear end. So it returns true if the element is added successfully, or false if the element is not added. That is basically happens when the queue is not its maximum capacity and cannot take any more elements. As I told you, array blocking. So where the size you are going to be fixed first. So in that case, when you try to add new element into the queue, it is not possible. So in such a way, this function will work. Add e comma e. And element. So this method returns the head, the first element of the queue. The head, first element of the queue. Okay, whenever if you want to know what is the element which is present in the first of the queue, you can use this particular method. As I told you, you just keep it in your, you just imagine in your brain, we are going to deal with huge volumes of data rather than 3 or 4 or maximum of 10 elements, right? Okay. Then offer, this is same as add method. Offer is also same as add method. We will see all these implementations in the example program. So remove, as you know, remove method is used to remove the head element, first element on the queue, and these are the general implementations. I am not talking about priority queue here itself. We will see the functionality of priority queue while discussing the example on the priority queue. These are the general methods which are available at queue interface. Hope I am clear. Is it okay or not? Right. The next, poll. So this method is almost same as remove method. The only difference between poll and the remove method is the poll method returns null if the queue is empty. If the queue is empty, that is only the difference. Okay. Remove method. Suppose if the queue is empty, if you try to apply the remove method, what happens in that case? It will generate an exception. It generates an exception. Whereas the poll method, simply it returns the null value. Instead of generating exception, it produces the null value as an output. When? If the stack is empty. Okay? Right. And then peak. As I tell you, this method is almost same as element method. The only difference between peak and element method is that peak method returns null if the queue is empty, whereas element method, okay, this always the element method is trying to look for whether the element is present in the stack or not. Whatever the, sorry, not stack, queue. Whatever the element which is present in the first position, head position will be displayed. Okay, if it is empty list, Suppose if it is empty list, that means no element is present in the queue. In that case, it will generate the exception. Whereas this peek method will produces the null value as an output. So that is the different various methods which are available at queue interface in the collections framework. Okay. Now let us start looking at the example programs, how we are going to be execute how we are going to be implement queue interface using linked list representation and as well as priority queue implementation. So is it visible to everyone? Okay. So let us see how to implement the queue with the help of linked list. As I told you, queue is an interface. So it can be implemented either by using linked list class or priority queue. Okay. So now here I was created an object queue. Okay. So here the type of that elements which I am going to store it into the queue is string. Okay. Now queue dot add is equals to, here I was added 5 names: Rick, Maggie, Glenn, Megan and Darren. So these are the 5 elements which I want to add with the help of add method which is defined in the queue interface. Okay. But when we are creating using the class linked list, what happens internally? So each and every name is stored as a data element of a node, and automatically that particular, the first node, head dot next is going to be linked to the second element where the data is Maggie, and the Maggie dot next, that means the second node dot next is going to be connected to this one. In such a way it is going to be connected. Now system dot out dot println elements in the queue are. So after inserting the elements into the queue, I just want to display the contents of the queue. So here you can observe that the first line of the output, all the 5 names are displayed in the square brackets, right? And after that, I would like to remove an element. So always what happens when you perform the remove operation? So always the element which is present in the first will be deleted first. So that means whatever the elements that was entered into the queue as a first element, that element will be removed from the list first. So let us see. Okay. In our case, this is the first name which we are added to the queue. So that's why after executing this remove method, what we are expecting is this particular element is supposed to delete from the queue itself. You can observe removed element is Rick. Okay, so it works properly. Now next, system dot out dot println queue dot element. So the element method returns the element in the head position. That means first position. So initially we have the queue with 5 names. After that we have removed the one element from the queue. So now we have only 4 elements: Maggie, Glenn, Megan and Daryl. So in that case, the first element is Maggie. So what we are expecting from after executing this particular method is queue dot element should return the Maggie as the name, because this is the element which is present in the head position. Now you can see head is equals to Maggie, right? So it is also works properly. Next one is queue dot poll. Queue dot poll. So what it displays? What we are expecting to display it? Huh? So only the difference between this one and remove method is the remove method will remove the element, and even if the it is empty also, it returns the null value. Now you can see poll Maggie, the second element is also be going to be removed from the list itself, right? And after that, system dot out dot println queue dot peek. So the peek method always it displays the element which is present in the head position, which is similar to the element method which we have seen previously. The difference between this one and that one is peek method will display, will return the null value if the queue is empty. Okay, so in the present case the queue is not empty because still we have 3 more elements in the are present in the queue itself. So so here it is not the empty list, so that's why it will display the topmost element. What is the topmost element in it? Glen, because we have removed these 2 elements. One is removed with the help of remove method, and another one is removed with the help of poll method. So that will be Glen will be displayed. Now the Glen is the head position, so that will be displayed. You can observe here itself. All right, and after that I would like to display the contents of the queue. So what are the elements right now? They are present in the queue: Glen, Nagan, and Daryl. So these are the 3 elements which are present. So in such a way, you can implement all the methods. These are the very fundamental operation which we are performed on the queue itself. But in future, we'll implement in all these things in a little bit complex way. Okay. So this is about the queue implementation. Don't worry about it. I'll share all these details, all these codes with you. You can check at your home. And if you have any queries, you can discuss it in the next class. Okay. Now let me explain the priority queue implementation of the queue. So this is the priority queue implementation. As I told you, every element should be comparable with other elements which are present in the queue. So here I has considered the size, the length. The length is a parameter to distinguish between one element and the other element. That means whatever the element which is having smallest length will be placed first, and next the next highest one. In such a way, I will try to store the elements into the queue. Let us observe whether it is implements in such a way or not. Because here my comparator is a class which I am going to be implement the comparator interface. Right? That means here I was defined my own mechanism to define the priority of each and every element. Okay. So here the priority queue, the queue will be declared as object to the priority queue class, and then queue dot add. Here I was added 4 elements into the queue. Okay, 4 elements in the sense four different sentences or 4 different names. Okay, so now here what I would like to see is I would like to display all these contents. What will be the poll method? As I told you, poll method, what we have observed in the previous case, what is the functionality of the poll method? It removes the element from the head. Even though if it is empty, it returns the null value, whereas the remove method will return an exception if the queue is empty. Okay. So now with this, I would like to delete the elements from the queue. So what is the queue that we have initially? 4 elements. These are the 4 elements. Now, when we try to delete the element from the queue, okay, what we are expecting, as I told you, always the element which is having highest priority will be removed first, because in such a way the elements were stored. Because here simply we have write the statement like q dot add of some blah 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 blah. So while adding, because this is the first element which we are going to be add, next time when you write the second, when you try to insert the second element into the queue, what happens is always the length of the second element is going to be compared with the first element. You can observe here itself. Okay. and based on that, they will be stored into the queue rather than storing the elements one after another. Usually, what we are expecting in the ordinary queue, whatever the order that they have entered, they will be placed in the queue. But here it is not, right? So let us verify whether it is correct or not. Okay. Now the poll method is used to delete the element from the head position. That means whatever the element which is present in the list as the first one will be removed first. So in our case, what we are expecting in the case of ordinary queue, this is the first one. This is the first element which we are supposed to be displayed. Okay. But as a priority queue, what we are expecting, whatever the element which is having smallest in length, out of these four, ARIA star key is the smallest length element. So here, after executing this poll statement, we are expecting ARIA star key as the first one because it is having the smallest length when compared with the remaining three. Okay. But in the case of ordinary queue, what happens? The first element, Tyrion Lannister, will be displayed first. So now let us see whether it displays the Tyrion Lannister or Arya Stark. So here you can observe that Arya Stark is the first element because this is the element which was placed in the first position. But when you observe the adding procedure, you have entered that as a third element. Even though you have entered it as a third element, because of the smallest length, it was placed in the first position. Because of the priority, we cannot call it as length or something like that. So length is the mechanism which is defined by me to define the priorities. Okay. So here the Arya stack is the highest priority one. Next one is, so it depends upon the sizes, it is going to be removed from the list itself. So this is the priority implementation of queue. Priority queue implementation of the queue. So the queue can be, because it is an instance, it is an interface. So that is the reason any one of these two classes should be implemented, right? So hope I am clear with the stacks and the queues, right? Any queries? So I'll stop here and we will discuss the set implementation and sets in the next class. So Mohan Babu sir, the attendance part is over from your end. Post it in the tomorrow's class. All right? Okay. Thank you.